So you're playing Sekiro and you want to know how to upgrade all your prosthetics. This guide is going to show you all locations you can farm prosthetic upgrade materials so you can finish almost all of those upgrades before you complete the game. Note that for some of these, you'll need to be in late game locations. Also, as many have pointed out, if you activate the Demon Bell and get the Sinister Burden debuff, or buff, depending on how you look at it, this will increase drop rates of all items. Let me know in the comments how these strategies worked for you, and if you liked the video, please take 2 seconds out your day and hit that red button that says subscribe below the video. It's greatly appreciated, and I'll try and find some more trivia type videos that other people haven't already done to make on Sekiro. So you've probably noticed by now you can get scrap iron and black gunpowder from almost any enemy in the game, but you don't need to farm it. You can buy an unlimited amount of these materials from most vendors by mid-game. If you do want to farm, you can get them pretty early by farming enemies in Ashina outskirts because they're very easy to take down over and over, but for black gunpowder, you'll probably want to farm this guy with the cannon in Ashina outskirts, and there's also one in the poison pool area in Ashina depths that I seem to have better luck with. Scrap Magnetite is a rare drop from most enemies in the game. Similar to black gunpowder and scrap iron, this is easy to farm in Ashina outskirts or from just about any enemy. This process is made faster by having the Demon Bell on. Again, this is an early material, so you'll probably have a lot of it, but if you're missing some, try just going to Ashina outskirts and farming those guys. You can farm lumps of fat wax from the Senpo monks, or if you have Fountainhead Palace unlocked, and this is what I use, the 3 flute players you can easily kill at the beginning of the area also drop lumps of fat wax. Spawn at Vermilion Bridge, grapple down, kill these 3 guys, and repeat. You'll get a nice bit of XP and Sen here too. Yellow gunpowder is a little rarer than its counterpart, yet I never had any trouble finding it as I got a lot while farming for other things. Most often I would get this material from the cannon enemy at the poison pool idol, the cannon enemy in Ashina outskirts, and if you're at or past the final boss, I've also seen it drop from Ministry Gunmen. Adamantite scraps are used in most advanced prosthetic upgrades, and luckily you find them pretty easily in the late game. Once the blue samurai at the antechamber idol is replaced by this purple ninja, farming him over and over is going to be one of the fastest ways to get this material. Also, you can farm it from Straw Hat monks outside the Senpo Temple's main hall sculptor idol if you haven't gotten the purple ninja to spawn yet, as that only happens once you can unlock the final boss fight. For this you're going to need a couple of things. What I like to use is Gachian's Spirit Fall, but you can also use Gachian's Sugar as it has the same effect. It makes you tougher to detect by enemies, and the Blood Smoke ninjutsu, which is going to provide cover for you when you backstab one of these two. Once you have the blood smoke around you, sneak up behind the second guy, take him out, and run back into the main hall. These Straw Hat monks are probably the most dangerous regular enemy in the game, so don't screw around with them. If you mess up, it's probably better to run back inside the main hall because they can't quite get to you in there. You can also do this with Golden Vortex, and to save emblems, use the Ceremonial Tanto if you have it. You can get Gachian's Spirit Fall from the Hidden Forest area in Ashina Depths, and if you're out of Divine Confetti, you can watch my other video on how to kill Headless without Divine Confetti to kill this guy pretty easily. Fulminated Mercury is one of the most tedious things to farm for, so just know if you're watching this part of the video, you have my sympathies. It's probably good to get this all out of the way as quickly as possible, so the max you're ever going to need is 19 of this material. And I believe you can only find 2 on the ground during the game, so get ready to grind. If you're not at the very end of the game or the final boss and the ministry hasn't shown up to Ashina yet, the best way to farm this is going to be from the cannon guy in the poison pool area, the one who also drops yellow gunpowder. If you farm this guy for Fulminated Mercury, make sure you have the Demon Bell on, or this is going to take a long time. Also, if you have skill points to spare and you're farming for a lot of stuff, I'd recommend dropping some points into the Temple Arts tree, specifically the latent skills Virtuous Deed for 3 skill points and Most Virtuous Deed for 4 skill points. These are going to make enemies drop more Sen for you and have higher item drop rates. If you're at the end game, you can spawn at the Ashina Outskirts Stairs idol and farm these 3 Ministry Gunmen. I found this to be faster than the Poison Fool guy simply because you get 3 chances per run. A few times I've had 2 of these drop per run, so it's not too bad. Lumps of grave wax can be slowly but easily farmed from the flute players at Fountainhead Palace, and same as before, I recommend using the Vermilion Bridge idol, running down to the first building you see, killing all 3 of these guys, and teleporting back to the idol and repeat. This is not as slow as the Fulminated Mercury grind, and again, these guys also tend to drop quite a bit of Sen and XP for you, and you can also get this rarely from the Senpo Temple monks, but if you have Fountainhead unlocked, I definitely use that because the flute players can't really do anything to stop you, and the Senpo monks definitely can't. Unless they make you old. Don't let them make you old. Old people have no chance in the world of Sekiro. Lapis Lazuli is something I see come up on Reddit a lot, people asking if you can farm it. As far as I can tell, it does not drop from Okami warriors in Fountainhead. I've wasted a lot of time farming these guys. I had Bell Demon on, I was using Mibu Possession Balloons, I was using the Senpo Temple skills. Not even a single Lapis Lazuli dropped for me in 2 hours, so don't be like me and don't waste your time. In each playthrough, you'll have the opportunity to get approximately 6 of this material. I used it on the Axe and Flame Vent, and for my New Game Plus playthrough, I only had to get 4. If you're looking for all 6, here's how you can get them. 1 will be dropped when you kill the Shichiman warrior at the base of this waterfall in Fountainhead. A good strategy here to use that's similar to my last video is to use the Phoenix's Lilac Umbrella. If you use that to block his Terror Beam, you'll be able to absorb its power into the Umbrella, and when you attack with projected force, you'll do heavy posture damage. It also blocks his little spirit projectiles, which is useful because he spawns a lot of them. Also, if you see him jump in the air and you have the anti-air death blow, that's a super easy way to take one of his little stocks off. You'll get another Lapis Lazuli from feeding the truly precious bait you'll get from one of the 2 pot nobles to the giant carp in Fountainhead. This also kills the carp and the opposing pot noble. To get truly precious bait, you'll need to spend about 7 scales at one of the pot nobles and then exhaust his dialogue. There's 1 pot noble in Fountainhead, and the other, which you probably found, is in Hirata Estate. When the other guy dies, the one that survives will get his inventory, so don't worry about losing access to the other guy's mask fragment. I would do this after you feed the carp a regular precious bait, because the dude standing next to the feeding area will give you 1 treasure carp scale for the first feeding, and then use the truly precious bait because he gives you 3 more after the second feeding. You can also buy 2 Lapis Lazuli from the pot nobles for 6 scales each. And finally, the last 2 Lapis Lazuli you can get in a playthrough is going to be from the Demon of Hatred. I have a video showing the strategy I used on him if you're struggling on that fight, but if you can defeat the final boss, you can definitely defeat him. Now for the very specific items. There are 3 specific items to get certain prosthetic upgrades. You can buy Phantom Kunai from Anayama the Peddler for 3000 Sen. You don't need to fight Lady Butterfly to get this item, he'll have it anyway. I don't think he'll have this item until his inventory expands for the first time after you give him a little donation to get his shop started. If by some chance you accidentally killed him, the Phantom Kunai will show up in the offering box at the Dilapidated Temple for 4500 Sen after you defeat the Divine Dragon. Personally, I don't think you need to get the Phantom Kunai. It's not much better than Gouging Top, but it is a prerequisite upgrade for the Great Feather Mist Raven and therefore also the Lazulite Shuriken. So if you're going for prosthetic completion, you'll need this item. You'll need pine resin ember for one of the flame vent upgrades, and you can get it from Mibu Village. So fast travel to the Mibu Village idol and go to the lake. Swim to the dock on the right side, you can grapple up. Once you do that, go down into the ravine to your right, run past all the guys down there, grab it from the top of the house at the end. I've already grabbed it in my game, that's why it's not available to pick up here. To get Malcontent's ring, you'll need to have defeated the Guardian Ape for the first time, then travel to his den in the Poison Pool area and defeat him again in that horseshit boss fight where you have to fight 2 of him at once. And you'll need to have severed his immortality by hitting him with the Mortal Blade after he's dead. You may notice that this area's idol is grayed out after you leave. If you spawn at Poison Pool and run back here, you'll find a Shichiman warrior who has apparently decided he wants to live here now. If you kill him, you can get Malcontent's ring. As I mentioned before, Phoenix's Lilac Umbrella is going to be very useful against this guy. That's it for the upgrade materials you'll need for all your prosthetics. If you follow this guide, you'll be able to get every single one of them. Once again, if you liked this video, if it helped you out, and you want to see more like this, hit that subscribe button and I'll be sure to keep making these.